Okay, well, there's a lot of things to squeeze in. But one thing we need to straighten out is the relationship between this family and Shriner College. We're not married to it. We don't own any interest in it. Nearly all of the family went here. And how did that come about? In 1928, George and Abel both graduated from California High School. George finished high school in 3 years. There was a principal by the name of Charles Casper, an Aggie, Air Force pilot. He was in the Air Force at that time. The alien had a air wing at that time. And he was gung-ho on A&M. He told all through the high school years, he talked about all of the pranks that they pulled at A&M and all of the good things about A&M. And so when these guys reached their senior year, they wanted to go to A&M. They had heard of nothing else. So... Anyway, they went on their way, and about Thanksgiving of the freshman year, George had appendicitis. And at that time, you were put on a commission for 5 or 6 weeks. Now I think you get, what is it, Dr. Clark? 2, 3 days.
3 days.
3 days maximum back on the job.
That's right.
So there was no way of going back to A&M. So he laid out. He played football in high school. He liked football. And a guy came through Platfonia by the name of Bully Gilstrap. You may have heard about him if you're 45 or 50 years old. Famous coach here. Famous assistant coach at the University of Texas, national champion and all that kind of stuff. Recruited George, gave him athletic scholarship to come to a little college in Kerrville called Shriner Institute. And they gave him, in addition to that, a work contract because the other scholarship was not enough to pay the fees of a private college. And that work scholarship included, what skill did he have? He told him he milks a lot of cows. At that time, Shriner had a great big dairy. All the milk, cream, butter, everything was grown right here. And he was one of our Muhammadi people who milked cows. And made the team, lost all his teeth in the lower jaw in the process. Not the cows, but the football. So that took care of him. 29, 30, 29, and 30. Then 32, Ernest graduated as a valedictorian. Only one in our family. Graduated. I won't tell you how many were in that class. One or two of them. Regular bunch. And they gave him a scholarship, and he was a super duper 220-yard low hurdle. That's right, yeah. But he cheated on the high hurdles. He's a little guy, high hurdles of this high. He dragged one leg off the side. He just got one leg over. He went through 4 years of that and no one caught him. So he got an athletic scholarship too, and a work scholarship. You saw the alumni house, which at that time was President Delaney's home. Mrs. Delaney loved flowers. She had flowers of any kind you could find in the flower book. Some they even planted in relics. Ernest made everything grow on the farm. He turned grass into cotton. And his work contract was to work in Mrs. Delaney's flower beds, and everything flourished. So his sophomore year, Mrs. Delaney and Dr. Delaney, President Delaney, came to Flatonia in that Pontiac, brand new Pontiac, and made sure that he came back to Shriner the second year because she wanted him to worked in that flower bed. I'm serious, this is true. So now we got the top of the athletic department, fully Gilstrap. We got the top of the administration, Dr. Delaney. So the day he graduated from Shriner, I graduated from Flatonia High School, and here comes a recruiter. He says, hey, you want to come to Shriner? We'll give you a work contract. Reputation, see? And I scooted through. And, well, I did pretty well in freshman physics. So I had to work as a laborer the freshman year. But the next year, I got to be student assistant in physics. So Dr. Hammonds thought that I did pretty well. So now we got three spots there for hot checks. And frankly, John comes along, just like that. Work contract. I mean, just whatever my dad would negotiate with that recruiter. That was a work contract.
I was a supervisor.
Yeah, you were a supervisor. And how much would you be paid?
20 cents an hour.
Oh,
But I had cleaners.
oh, I was 15. So you couldn't work out a very big work contract at that time, at that rate. And then Frankie came along. By now, there's no point in trying to get any work out of these guys. They gave him the concession to run the campus store, and he made out like a bandit. And after that, they discontinued giving the campus store that option. But they took the thing over themselves.
He made too much money off of
He
it.
made too much money. So that was our just order of progression. We didn't know, like some people didn't think there was any other school except A&M. We didn't think there was any other school except Shriner. And what to do after your second year, everybody, almost everybody, spilled over into University of Texas. That's where we are. And the first time back on campus in, I don't know when, it's still here. And looks like they're getting along all right without us. Yes?
Now, we were talking about that work contract, and you got so much an hour, which you never did work out the contract. What you did make was forgive it. When I got the store, one agreement, I had to pay full pay as the rich boys did, who know the top pay. I paid my full and still good. As soon as Junkin found that out, he put it out on contract. No more than that.
I never did ask you how much money you made.
I done forgot. I don't know. That's Popo. He got most of it. He loaned it. He asked the loan.
So this was passed on to me. George was here 66 years ago. Oh, you don't have any idea how long 66 years is. Ernest, 63. Me, 61. John, 57. And Frank, 55. The school was only 6 years old when George came here.
Here's Mom.
One more item is we're trying to set the day for the meeting in June, 2 years from now. Father's Day will come in about the middle of the month. And this is the 4th of July weekend by a half a month. All in favor of Father's Day, June 1997? 2 plus 5 is 97. All in favor, say aye. Aye. I think that's it now.